Back in the 80s, that's when everything pretty much started, and now there's been just a lot more cool ways to handle this problem. So if you're a man and you're, say, in your 40s or 50s, 60s or higher, and you are still having problems with your sexual function, you need to listen to the show, because this man has a plan, and we're going to go over that today. Welcome to the Regenerative Warrior and Medical Influencer Show. My name is Dr. Ross Carter, and I want to welcome our special guest, Dr. Dan Larke. Welcome to the show today.
Great. It's great to be here, Ross.
Today, we're going to be talking about new solutions to erectile dysfunction. Now, erectile dysfunction things have been going on for, treatment for it has been going on for a long time. How long has there been kind of things that have been used for erectile dysfunction, actually?
Really the biggest advent of, let's just say, through chemistry, the likes of Viagra, Cialis, and even what we call Trimix has really been in the 80s.
80s is when that started?
Yeah.
Explains why we have so many children nowadays. So let's get started. And let's start with some of the stuff that originally, or the kind of the traditional route that people take. Now, first of all, what is the percentage of men that typically have some type of sexual dysfunction? It's astronomical, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, statistics show that about 50% of men, or 50+% of men over the age of 40 have ED in some way, shape, or form, to some degree. And of course, as we age, the percentage goes higher. Wow.
So if you're standing in a mirror, it's either you or the person in the reflection that has a problem.
Right. And then that goes up if you've got anything with the likes of hypertension, diabetes, obesity, which, we have an epidemic of right now. So that percentage is going up just by virtue of the pathologies that we're seeing around today.
So, as you get older, the more conditions you have, the worse the condition basically becomes. And so what are some of the things that have been done in the past, and maybe some changes that have been improved on? Tell us a little bit about the history of this.
Sure. Let's start with up to the point of where our friends at Pfizer and some of these other pharmaceutical companies have come out with the Viagra and the Cialis. Yep. That works to some degree. That's basically works on a pathway of using or accentuating nitric oxide. So that was early on. The challenges there are we're seeing a less and less percent of men responding to that by virtue of severity of the ED, vascular damage, low nitric oxide, and side effects. So in many men, the medicine may work, but headache, nasal congestion, low back pain can happen, so it's not a desirable. So that's been around since about the 80s. And then another medicine came on. This is less spoken of, but has been a lifesaver for many men where Viagra and Cialis don't work, and that is something called Trimix. It's an injectable medication that has to be used. It's an injection that goes into the side of the penis. That's still around. That's, again, really came to the forefront in about the 80s. There's lots of information out there, but unfortunately, it's not something widely used because dosing is a bit of an art form to getting it right, so you don't end up a patient with a priapism, which is an erection that lasts much longer than you want.
Yes.
Which sounds great, and you can brag and right to your friends, but beyond 3 or 4 hours, it starts to be quite uncomfortable. And so that brings us really to some interesting new things on the pharmaceutical front, which we were talking about earlier, which is this science of peptides.
Peptides, yes.
Right, and in particular, let's start with what is a peptide, right? So what we know is proteins are long strings of amino acids of 50 plus, they can get into the thousands, which fold over on themselves and have conformal shapes. Peptides are merely just short chains of amino acids, anywhere from 2 to 50. And there are hundreds of different peptides that work miraculous different functions in the body. And through experimentation and accident, we have stumbled across one in particular that has promise in helping with erectile dysfunction, both in men, but also with libido issues and sexual dysfunction in women also. That one is called, it's bremelanotide, also known as PT-141. But this is just, it really works on a different mechanism in the body that has promise in helping men. Maybe when Viagra and Cialis don't work, this might be able to work.
Okay, so basically you have a short amino acid that we're putting into the body. What's nice about this, in addition, is you don't have to inject it into the penis, right?
That is correct. So administration is, up to this point, has been primarily subcutaneous. A little sort of like when you see somebody injecting insulin with the insulin syringe.
Right. So they can put that. Okay, go ahead.
Although I have spoken with a couple compounding pharmacists who now are experimenting with oral versions of this also. The percent of success rate isn't quite there, but some men it does work on it. And I think it really all comes back to how severe is the erectile dysfunction to start with.
Hey, this is Dr. Ross Carter again. Listen, if you're a doctor or a medical professional or interested in adding exosomes to your practice, or if you're actually a potential patient who's interested in exosomes, I want you to listen. Now, the company that we're recommending, I have an agreement with. Basically, I refer them business. Now, I would rather, if you're getting exosomes, make sure to get it from an actual company and not a distributor. So I'm not, doing it that way. Basically, I'm just referring you to them. But if I do refer them to you or you to them, basically what you'll get is not only will you get product from them at the best price you can get, but you'll also get an additional bonus of free amniotic exosome products as well. So what that means is if you order the placental exosomes, the MSC exosomes, you'll get, in addition for free, amniotic exosomes absolutely free. So if you're using amniotic exosomes, you're already paying for those, and so you get a vial of those for free with purchase of the MSC exosomes, and hopefully you see the difference in the value by now. If you're a patient and considering this and you think, hey, I'd like to do this procedure, all you got to do is you can contact me, and I'll send you places that could be close to you. So here's how to contact me. Just send me an email at drrosscarter@gmail.com. That's drrosscarter@gmail.com. Or you can call or text me at 561-962-1231. That's 561-962-1231. So either email me or text me or call me. It's just best to email or text me, and I can get back with you with that information. So if you're considering this, let me be the reference point, and it helps to support the show. Obviously, I get a benefit if I refer you. So I want to be transparent about that. So please support the show and email or text me, and I can get you connected and give you the best prices. Plus, a special is you're going to get additional amniotic fluid exosomes for free. Can't beat that. So I hope you continue to enjoy the show. I'll let it continue. Here you go. And have they, and also this product, this peptide, has some challenges, side effects of stomach discomfort. That's
correct. There's a few, right? So one in particular is upset stomach.
Yeah,
that can happen, and there is also some minor flushing shortly after, within 10 to 15 minutes, and it doesn't last very long, but it can cause some flushing. The mechanism of action is it works through what we call our melanocortin corticoid system, which is really melanocytes, which is our skin. This is how it was discovered. So this goes hand in hand with why we get some flushing on the front end of this also.
Gotcha. Okay, so a person can get this. Is this a prescription? This is a prescription that has to be given, correct?
Yeah. At this point, it's still, we have to get a prescription through a doctor. There's standard dosing, depending on, you can't up the dose a little bit, just depending on how severe things are, but it does require a prescription. Gotcha.
And so how long are you noticing this effect?
That's a great question also. So let's also talk onset.
Yeah.
Unlike what we call the PD5 inhibitors, which are the Viagra and the Cialis and Levitra, the onset for most men is a little bit longer. It can be actually upwards of hours. So what I would call delayed onset. Mm-hmm. And then with this, the interesting thing is that it simply will generate an erection without stimulation. Whereas in Viagra and Cialis and the like, it really acts as what I call a turbocharger. It doesn't initiate an erection, but when you get sexually aroused with the Viagra and the Cialis, it sort of turbocharges it to help it, bring it up the rest of the way. Whereas this will initiate an erection no matter where you are and what you're doing. So
could be a problem.
Could be a problem. So again, one of the drawbacks, in addition to stomach upset and flushing, is timing. Timing is everything. So you have to be, maybe the first shot is more of an experimental one to see how well you react. Yeah. And based on that, you can make an educated guess on when you might want to have the erection crop up and right. Go. And it can last hours. You will, after orgasm, you will get soft, but typically it's still there to help you generate a better erection while it's there.
And yeah, exactly. So it can last the erection, but how long does it typically last in your system so that you can get these spontaneous erections?
I usually say maybe 24 hours that it's there. That you'll notice the difference. You'll have better just flaccid tumescence in the flaccid state while it's in your system and before it clears from the body. So it's there sort of, for maybe about a day.
Gotcha. And so, then is it safe to take it daily?
So right now, the general recommended is 3 times per week. So in essence, maybe every other day, something like that. So you do have to give the medicine a chance to clear from the body. Mm-hmm. One of the other interesting side effects of this, which is by virtue of the way it works in the body through the nervous system, is that where the typical Viagra and the Cialis doesn't necessarily increase your libido. It will help you get a better erection. This one, we know it does have an effect on the libido. So in addition to generating an erection, there is an increased desire also. So that's really sort of another added side effect. And this is why it's been in clinical trials for use with women for libido issues. So it can help with libido and actually better orgasm. So yeah.
That's great. So this is perfect for anybody who's married.
Exactly. Right? If it's good for me, it's good for you, honey.
Exactly. I'll get an erection whenever, I don't have to even be sexually stimulated to have an erection. That's perfect. And the woman now has higher desire.
Exactly.
So you both, at the morning, you just both have your little shots and, that'll be a party day.
Indeed. In theory, that works. But again, we also have to remember this is not a panacea. Mm-hmm. It really goes back to how severe things are, right? It doesn't necessarily hurt anything to try it, but there's no guarantee that this is going to work, just like Viagra and Cialis and any of these other ones, because what condition are those vessels in, right? Do we have plaquing going on? It's always what's root cause and how severe is the situation.
And so you can help with those type of problems? How do you help people when they're in that type of situation? What do you do?
Yeah, that's a great. So the first thing is, these are what we would call, the Viagra and the Cialis, the Trimix, the peptides are all, short-term, quick fix solutions. I call them Band-Aids. They allow you to have your fun at a point in time, but really it doesn't do anything to get to what's causing that. So really the big thing is, which rarely goes addressed, is taking the time to drill down in what's going on with the patient to find out what's causing the damage. In most cases, it's a chronic inflammation as a result of everything from diabetes, right? Elevated glucose, hypertension, smoking, and the big one that goes under the radar that rarely gets discussed is chronic stress. Chronic stress is pro-inflammatory and can wreak havoc and cause heart disease and a host of other problems. So it's first identifying where that is, and then working with a patient to curb that, right? To reduce the blood sugars, stop the smoking if that's not needed, and then reduce the hypertension. Now, even doing that, if we had a magic pill to make all that go away, now what we've done is just really curbed the ability for the body to get worse. And the body is an amazing biologic machine that knows how to correct itself, but we have to remove the very thing that's causing the damage first. So the big thing is lifestyle changes is really what it goes to. It's you correct the lifestyle changes, remove what's causing it, and now we can talk about adding some things in that will help the body repair itself. Nitric oxide supplements, making sure that they've got enough testosterone, right? So testosterone can help repair the body
now well. There's nitric oxide supplements? I've never taken them. I've never seen those. Like supplements, like you can just take like a vitamin?
Absolutely. I carry a couple, I think, world-class. The research on it, there was a Nobel Award Prize given to a couple of researchers in the 90s on nitric oxide. And yes,
that helps with other things too, right?
What's that?
That can help with other things too, right?
Oh, nitric oxide. It systemically, the body uses it to control blood pressure, blood to the brain, so brain function, sexual function. Nitric oxide is systemically used everywhere. And yes, the interesting thing about nitric oxide is at 20 years old, we're at peak production. By the time we're 65, we're at 15% production. And
that's not good.
One of the reasons why we start to see hypertension increase or a high blood pressure increase in our 40s, along with erectile dysfunction, right? Both are really need the nitric oxide to function. So anybody over 40 should be taking nitric oxide supplements right alongside their multiple vitamin.
Do you have a supplement that you like?
Yeah, there's a couple good that one from a company called Berkeley, and then there's another one called Neo 40 from a company called Human, Humann. Both of those are professional grade through physicians, and there are nitric oxide test strips that you can get. You can test yourself before you start, and then you can watch it increase as you consistently take the nitric oxide, and it's really fantastic stuff.
I'm gonna try this out myself. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Huh. Fantastic. So these peptides, all the things that you talked about, some really great topics. Is there anything new besides peptides in the sexual forefront right now?
Certainly, there are, there's all the buzz talking about what we call shockwave therapy or what we call acoustic wave therapy.
Oh yeah,
which are really all synonymous, or what we call extracorporeal shockwave therapy, which is really using a mechanical device to impart an impulse into the penis, which this is one of the beautiful parts about this which it does help reverse the damage. So as these impulses go through, they actually help to microscopically loosen up and remove the plaque, but also by virtue of releasing of growth factors from our in the bloodstream, then we actually can get angioneogenesis, or new blood vessel growth. So in essence, we're turning back the hands of time, and we're remodeling the tissues. And I always have to curb this with the patients that I work with. It can work fantastic, but again, it's not an overnight solution. Right. Like I talked about earlier, you remove the obstacles that are causing it, and then now we can do some adjunct therapies like the acoustic wave, which will help remove the plaquing and build new blood vessels. And now, but again, if I cut myself right now, I don't wake up tomorrow and it's completely healed. So the acoustic wave or the shockwave therapy takes a while, but it really can help the body accelerate the remodeling and the rebuilding.
Awesome.
So, in addition to that, we've got the use of PRP, platelet-rich plasma, which can help really turbocharge the rebuilding, remodeling of blood vessels, as well as now we're also using stem cells, which is really the granddaddy of all regenerative medicine. And I think you're familiar with that.
A little bit.
Right on.
Yeah, I've heard about them. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming up so we can have sex till we die, basically, which is
that's amazing. I have a 92-year-old patient that walked into my office one day, and he knew what he wanted. He said, he's outlived 2 wives. He's spry. He's got his mental capacity, and we were able to work with him and get him back in business. So it's really never too old, unless, of course, the damage is so severe then it really just can't be reversed. So
right,
there's still hope out there.
There's still hope for most of us, though.
Yeah, and on the converse of that, I get patients coming to my office in their 20s who I want to stay away from the damage that's downstream. So they're staying and they're doing really preventive maintenance in their early 30s and even late 20s.
Beautiful. And you have a book that recently came out all about these things. Do you have a copy of it right there?
So here we are, the Man Plan.
There you go.
The ultimate guide to erectile dysfunction and rockstar erections. And that's where we want to take you, is right Beautiful. Back and get you back in business. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I cover a lot of the information we've been talking about,
yep.
But in a much more comprehensive way that really, my goal is to really help the men out there, number one, understand why this is happening, and then put together a plan for what they can do to rectify it, so to speak. And
they can find that on Amazon. So
Amazon.com, if you'll Google my name.
And there it is.
Or excuse me, Amazon my name, yeah.
Amazon your name, right. Exactly. Beautiful. Good. Did we cover everything that we were supposed to cover? Anything I'm missing?
No, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, we covered that and more.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so if somebody wants to talk to you personally and would have some questions or whatever, how could they reach you or get in touch with you?
Well, certainly we have our phone here at our office, which is Thrive Regenerative Medicine, is 480-257-5022. And you can peruse our website at thrivemed.com. And then our email is thrivemedinfo@gmail.com.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, that was excellent information, Dan. I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for enlightening us and helping all those men out there continue to have erections.
Indeed. And Dr. Carter, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.